This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
And you feel like the ocean. Now I'm making the knees. You can start a commotion anytime you come into view. Satellite, take my heart up to the moon. She's a supercalifragilistic freak. She's in her own league, in her own galaxy. Electricity running, my butterflies buzzing, in flying, dreaming it must be heaven. One kiss and I'm seeing stars. She leaves me breathless, and she gives me CPR. Seems to knock her all the way.
Following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. We are broadcast. Well, should we talk about where we're broadcasting, or should we talk about how today is Monday, August the 4th of 2025, day 216th of the year, and only 149 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Oh, yeah, hanging out with our friends at Radio Big, because what else would we be doing if we were not doing that? Anyway, so how was your weekend? Did you do anything exciting? Did you not get arrested? Because that's always an important aspect to talk about as we are doing our stuff. So a lot of stuff going on over the weekend, because that's just kind of the way that our world works, no doubt there. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because that's how it goes. If you're watching the news, it was kind of all over the place, but we'll talk about some of that stuff. And then we'll talk a little bit about the things that are going on inside of the world. So our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's just kind of how our show goes about. That's what we talk about. That's what we do here for hour numero uno. Hour 2 and 3 is something entirely different. Only the first hour is on video and also on a podcast. Hour 2 and 3 is exclusive to radiobig.fm, just in case. But we are on Safety FM right now. We are on Radio Big FM right now. Or .fm right now. We're also a little bit of everywhere. This is kind of the way that it works. So we talk about news and safety in the news. That's just kind of the way that it goes as we do our thing. If you want to interact with the show, easy process on doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, video, audio, and text messaging are the options to do. I'll tell you the text messaging is the quickest one that I reply back to. But everything else does pop up on the screener. That way we get to see what exactly is going on. So that's how you get to interact with the show. I know some people will be like, well, you have access on social media. I know, but I don't pay attention to it until the very end of the show, or even sometimes after the show. So it's very, very interesting. So with that being said, why don't we start doing this? Why don't we start talking about what the hell was trending in the overnight, because it seems like that would be important.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as we talk about the trends of the ends, notable and noteworthy, Tesla gets clobbered in major civil suit over its self-driving technology. Also, Gary Busey pleads guilty to an inappropriate touching, and an Olympic sprinter goes to jail. We'll talk more about that in show business. Also, MGK lost out on a movie role over the N-word, and 2000's rom-coms is getting a series adaptation. We'll talk about that in casting calls. Also, a new book focusing on Prince Andrew, but of course, ropes in Prince Harry. And then, of course, Megan Sussex, and Megan Sussex, why would you not talk about her as well? And then we'll talk about some details about that inside of the Royals. And that's that. That's what we're going to do. So if you're ready for the ride, hitch along, because we are about to take over, go through the whole thing. We're going to bring in some people from Feature Story News. They're going to tell you about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news-o. So we're going to get that started right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in Brussels, I'm William Denslow. Israel's Prime Minister says Hamas has no interest in reaching a ceasefire, as reports suggest the Israeli government is considering expanding military operations in Gaza. Blake Sifton reports from Tel Aviv.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the recently released videos of 2 emaciated Israeli hostages in Gaza prove that Hamas has no interest in reaching a ceasefire deal, and that the videos have strengthened his will to eliminate the group. The statement comes amid reports in the Israeli press that as ceasefire talks stall, the government now plans to expand the war in Gaza to try to win the release of the remaining 50 hostages through decisive military victory. The families of the hostages still held in Gaza have reacted with outrage, saying talk of returning them through fighting is a fraud and expanding the war endangers their lives.
The US is increasing its pressure on India to stop buying oil from Russia, with a top aide of President Donald Trump accusing India of financing Moscow's war in Ukraine. India's Ministry of External Affairs has said it has nothing to say on the comments. Rebecca Bunden reports from Mumbai.
Deputy Chief of Staff at the White House Stephen Miller's comments made to Fox News were the strongest yet about India, a major partner of the US. He accused India of effectively financing Russia's war in Ukraine by buying Russian oil. This comes after President Trump last week announced tariffs of 25% for Indian imports, which came into effect on Friday. He also announced an unspecified penalty as he hit out at New Delhi for its purchases of oil and defense equipment from Russia. India and the US are continuing to negotiate on a potential bilateral trade deal. India has not suggested that it plans to make any changes to its energy purchases.
The UK government is spending an extra $132 million to try and reduce illegal immigration from Europe. The money will be used to target small boat crossings in the English Channel by providing new technology and around 300 more National Crime Agency officers. The funds will also go towards supporting the pilot of a new one-in, one-out returns agreement with France. Rob Bates from the Centre for Migration Control welcomes the extra funding, but fears it won't solve the deeper roots of the problem.
The best route they can go down is not focusing so much on smashing the gangs, as Keir Starmer's very clearly made his sort of staked his reputation on achieving, but actually looking to remove some of those pull factors that are making the crossings and making the opportunity of getting into Britain so enticing for individuals that are coming across the Channel.
And emissions caused by wildfires have already set new records in Europe this year. More than 1,300 fires have been detected since January, with major blazes seen in Cyprus, Greece and Portugal over recent weeks. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, consternation in India after US President Donald Trump unveiled 25% tariffs on all Indian goods last week and accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi of supporting Vladimir Putin's war effort in Ukraine by purchasing Russian oil. The Indians had thought that Prime Minister Modi and President Trump were firm friends, and the US president's accusation that India has obnoxious trade barriers in place against US exports has stunned threatened the leadership in Delhi. Dr. Adnan Nasimullah is a reader in international politics at King's College London.
Russia and India have had a very close relationship back to the 1970s. And in part, it's largely because Pakistan had much closer relationships to the United States. India has always viewed its own strategic autonomy or non-alignment as being absolutely central to its capacity to do statecraft. India has been quite consistent in trying to assert that they have the independence to manage their trading relations with whoever they want.
The Indians said over the weekend they will continue to buy Russian oil despite a threat of secondary sanctions from President Trump. A foreign ministry spokesman called the Indian relationship with Russia steady and time-tested, and Delhi's relationship with the White House appears suddenly to be souring. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
FSN is an independent source of news for TV, radio and digital networks worldwide. You can find more of our minute-by-minute updates on Twitter. Follow us there at Feature Story. And we have a wealth of audio and video stories from our global news bureaus on Facebook. You can find us there by following Feature Story News. Stay tuned for further updates right here. But for now, that's the latest Feature Story News. William Denzelo reporting.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp-speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, you know how it is listening to you at your own risk. 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are doing our thing here on the Rated R Safety Show. Anyway, so let's continue talking about what the hell's going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because there's always some time to hang out and do some thingos. Okay, so let's get into it right away. Take a listen to this. Sam Bankman-Fried will be back in court in November for his appeal trial. The Second Circuit will hear the case through. There is no guarantee that it will go very far. The initial hearing docketed for November the 3rd will decide whether to hold the entire retrial or modify the current sentence or dismiss the process entirely. In the appeal, SBF claims that the judge who oversaw the case too strictly limited the defendant's ability to introduce evidence that would have exonerated him. SBF is currently imprisoned at FCI Terminal Island near Los Angeles. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there. So this next story is going to be pretty interesting. So let's go ahead and start talking about it right away, because it's going to talk about technology. Yes, technology. You know, that stuff that we talk about all the time. Some tech-wrecker, some stuff going on inside of there. Always, we have to take a look at everything going on. So with that being said, let's talk about this one, because I find it a little intriguing, if I may. So, are you familiar with these self-driving cars? Because if you are, well, I have some info for you. I kind of want to go through some of this if we can. So let's talk about it. Tesla is on the hook for more than $240 million in punitive and compensatory damages as a result of a lawsuit over its autopilot self-driving technology. A jury found that the EV maker partially was liable for the death of a 22-year-old who was struck and killed by a man behind the wheel of a Tesla Model S using the autopilot system. The huge sum is a bit short of the $345 million requested by the plaintiffs in the trial's close. Lawyers say that Tesla announced that it will appeal immediately following the decision. So I'm kind of confused here, because they don't have technically full self-driving. What they have is supervised self-driving. But what I would like to do, if we can, of course, we have some newsos of the entire story. So let me see if I can pull this up without getting 10,000 ads over here. Let's try
Some
this.
breaking news to report: a Miami jury handing out a more than $200 million verdict against Tesla in connection with a deadly autopilot crash.
Jurors say the car's autopilot function should have avoided the crash. It killed a woman and seriously injured her boyfriend back in 2019.
Trying to figure this out.
CBS News Miami's Tanya Francois has been following this trial for us and has more from federal court.
Let's take a listen to this.
The jury agreed with the family, saying Tesla misled consumers about its autopilot feature.
We had to stand up and have courage to stand up to someone like this, especially the richest guy in the world. We did it for Nibel.
Dylan Angulo survived the accident that night when a Tesla Model S in autopilot crashed into him and his girlfriend. The couple was sitting outside their SUV on Card Sound Road in Monroe County back in April of 2019. Nibel Benavides did not survive. This is video of the crash.
So here's the crash itself. If you're watching, apparently it just goes straight through. It doesn't see this car in the dark and runs through the stop sign.
For his dropped cell phone. Angulo blamed Tesla for misleading its customers about the effectiveness of its autopilot technology.
We can be proud that we stood up and that we did everything in our power to help shine light on what's going on with these cars.
Benavides' family was awarded $59 million in damages. Her sister brought the lawsuit on her family's behalf.
We never agreed to settle, we never agreed to their conditions, and we fight all the way back until today, and we brought this case and my sister's story and what they did to the jury, and they took the right decision.
They were posting on their official Twitter this weekend, "Don't worry about driving, the car will drive yourself," while their lawyers are sitting in a courtroom saying, this is a driver assistance feature. No one could possibly think that the vehicle drives itself. Their corporate representative was on the witness stand at the very time Tesla's official Twitter was saying, don't worry about driving, the car will drive for you. That's irresponsible.
In court, Tesla argued this was a driver error, and the jury did blame him for 67% of the accident. Tesla issued a statement saying, in part, today's verdict is wrong and only works to set back automotive safety and jeopardize Tesla and the entire industry's efforts to develop and implement life-saving technology. They go on to say they plan to appeal. This is the first
Interesting one so far, for sure. That's no doubt there.
By someone not driving a Tesla. Attorneys say they have 3 more coming against the car maker, with the next one beginning in October. At the federal courthouse in Miami, Tanya Francois, CBS News, Miami.
Okay, so pretty interesting stuff, no doubt about that. Thanks to CBS News out of Miami sharing that info. But man, what do you think there? I mean, that's kind of an interesting one because the technology always states that it's full self-driving. Supervised full self-driving is really how the wording works. So I'm kind of confused on how this is going to work out. $345 million is what they were requesting. They ended up getting $240 million, and then, of course, it's going to be appealed. So I'm sure we still have several more stories going on before that's all said and done. But we'll take a look at it as it goes. Have you been inside of a Tesla that does the full self-driving, supervised full self-driving? Because I think there's some confusion on autopilot. And believe me, I'm not a defender here. I'm just saying there's a difference there. I mean, it's not like getting into a Waymo. So I don't know. It gets very interesting when you start thinking about it. Anyways, take a listen to this. A volcano in Russia far east erupted on late Sunday at local time for the first time in recorded history. Let's see if we can mess this up. Krashilvinka volcano spit ashes nearly 4 miles into the sky that largely drifted over the Pacific Ocean. Did not fall into inhabited areas. It was triggered a 7 magnitude earthquake. So let's see, a potential aftershock from the last week's 8.8 quake. The head of the volcanic eruption response team says that it's the first verified eruption ever of the Krashilvinka, going back at least 600 years. This is according to ABC News. I didn't realize that ABC News was a thing there. I'm just saying. So there you go. Okay, let's take a listen to this one. President of El Salvador consolidated his power last week after a National Assembly amended their constitution to abolish the term limits and extend presidential terms to 6 years. Previously, the law forbade the executive from holding office in consecutive terms, but Bukele questionable evaded this requirement by taking a brief and performative leave of absence between elections. Sympathetic judges upheld the maneuver. Despite it all, Bukele did win in a landslide a re-election in 2024 with an estimated 85% of the vote. It was even foreign observers that agreed that it was a free, open, and fair election. Buckley strongman tactics have obliterated the gang control in the country, where violent crimes have become virtually non-existent since he took office. This is according to the New York Times. So we'll have to take a look and see what exactly is going on inside of there, because it definitely makes it an interesting time. I don't know. I keep on wondering what the hell's going to happen with term limits, depending on the country, because, things get strange from time to time when it's all said and done. Okay, take a listen to this one. Drivers heading to work on Interstate 83 in Pennsylvania Friday morning were forced to stand still after a truck carrying hot dogs crashed and spilling wieners all over the road. The spillage led to significant delays as the cleanup crews say that they were unaware on how many very slippery hot dogs there are. 4 people sustained non-life-threatening injuries in the crash, while the hot dogs were deemed unsalvageable. This is according to The Independent. I mean, if the wiener hits the road, do you really want to try to see if you can salvage it? I mean, maybe that's more of the question to ask there. So what do you think? Definitely some stuff going on when it's all said and done. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. Okay, take a listen to this. Country singer Jeannie Seely has died. She passed away in the hospital in Nashville on Friday as a result of complications from intestinal infection. Seely, nicknamed Miss Country Soul, is best known for her hit Don't Touch Me. She was 85 at the time of her passing. What else do we got? Let's see. Let's talk about the box office, because, some people care about that stuff. So let's do that. Coming in at number 10 over the weekend, How to Train Your Dragon with $1.3 million. Number 9 was Smurfs with $1.7 million. I Know What You Did Last Summer with $2.6 million. And number 7 was F1 the Movie with $4.1 million. And number 6 was Together with $6.8 million. And number 5 was Jurassic Park Rebirth, $8.7 million. And number 4 was Superman with $13.9 million. And number 3 was The Naked Gun with $17 million. And number 2 was The Bad News 2. The Bad Guys 2, $22.2 million. And at number 1, again for the second week, was The Fantastic Four with $40 million. So there you go. Okay, what else do we have going on right there? Okay, President Trump ordered to the firing of the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner Erica Messentifer on Friday following the release of the heavily revised jobs numbers. Let's see. Erica is a Biden appointed who took the role in 2023 under her management. BLS reports have regularly been inaccurate and politically charged. Last August, the BLS announced that it had overinflated job numbers by 818,000 between March of 2023 and February of 2024, despite the underwhelming top-line number from the last week's report. The data reflected the reality of Trump's broader policy agenda. Native-born American jobs are up. Government employment is down and still counts the employees who took month-long buyout packages, and foreign-born workers who have been leaving the country in droves saw a dip in employment. So there you go. That's what's going on. Okay, what else do we have right there as we are talking? Let's do that. The Dow lost about 542 points to close at 43,588 on Friday. The S&P lost about 101 points to close at 6,238. And the NASDAQ lost about 472 points to close at 20,650. West Texas Intermediate closed at $67 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $69 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.15 on Sunday, and Bitcoin was down over the weekend, trading just around 114,000, just so you know. Also, Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing will be for a $150 million jackpot or a $67.9 million cash payout, and tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $429 million jackpot or a $193.5 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. Also, in some other news, take a listen to this because, this was pretty interesting last week. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared Friday, August the 1st as Hulk Hogan Day. His larger-than-life personality will be missed, as the Hulkster was an icon for many who grew up in the 80s and the 90s as well as today. DeSantis said in a statement, flags were flown at half staff at the state capitol on Friday. Meanwhile, an official autopsy report confirms that Hogan's cause of death was a heart attack, and it was also discovered during that time that he did have leukemia. So interesting stuff going on right there. In some other news, let's see. Gary Busey pleaded guilty to one count of fourth-degree criminal sexual contact. The charge stems from a 2022 incident where Monsters Mania convention, during which the 81-year-old was accused of inappropriate touching of a female attendee. The accusation first came to light, but Busey denied wrongdoing, but later was charged for his stance as part of a plea deal. He now faces up to 5 years probation and fines, according to Court TV. I don't understand this. I get so confused on some of this stuff. Listen, if people don't want to be touched, don't touch them. It's kind of an easy thing. Or just kind of go into the whole camp of just don't touch people. It's kind of an easier thing to do. Anyway, take a listen to this. Giselle Maxwell has been relocated to the FCI Tallahassee in Florida to federal prison camp in Bryan, Texas. No word on exactly why she was moved, but the timing, it seems a little bit odd, as it was just last week that she met with Deputy Attorney Todd Blanche to answer questions about the 100 people linked to her late friend Jeffrey Epstein. Maxwell now lives with a few famous inmates, the Real Housewives star, Jen Shah, and Toronto's founder Elizabeth Holmes. This is according to the BBC. Okay, let me give you one more. Orlando Bloom reacts to ex-fiancée Katy Perry's rumored new romance with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau with a cheeky comment of satirical headline. He commented that 3 clapping hand emojis underneath the headline from The Onion reading, Orlando Bloom spotted at dinner with Angela Merkel. An AI-generated image of the two accompanied the headline, along with a inside source claiming that the actor couldn't keep his eyes off of her. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there. Anyways, 32 minutes past the top of the hour, and I think it is time for us to do that thing that we call our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Yep, main story time for us to talk, for us to laugh, for us to think about some stuff, and to really give some hairy consideration. That's what I was about to say. Some heavy consideration about everything that's going on inside of the world. So with that being said, let's go a little bit slower than normal right now. Are you familiar with this? Are you familiar with some of these safety conferences? Are you familiar with some of the things that happen out there as work is being done? And listen, I understand getting excited about doing the work that you do. I get that. It makes sense to me. Wanting people to be safe, wanting people to make it home, wanting to make sure that people stay alive, making sure that people don't get injured for the most part. You know, I understand these things. I also understand the drive to zero. I understand the concept, because you're not really going to do a lot of boards or any kind of marketing campaigns that say, let's just kind of kill off 3 people this year opposed to the 5 that we did the year before. Not going to write anything like that. I get that. But there's some confusion sometimes. I understand wanting to drive safety forward, but I get confused on fanboying or fangirling out about safety. And I don't know so much if it has to do with being excited about going to an event. I don't know if it's excited about having some letters behind your name, but it's gotten kind of weird. It's gotten kind of weird out there. Like, I do not understand if I'm going to a quote unquote safety conference, why, number one, I have to give you a list of the top 5 reasons why I'm going to a safety conference, or why I have to tell you that I will be allowing people to take pictures with me at X booth during this safety conference. You are aware we're talking about safety here. And it is so niche specific that I'm so confused by this. Like, I understand getting excited about stuff. That makes sense to me. But I'm going to tell you when I'm going to be available to take pictures with you? Like, take pictures with somebody who's in safety? I'm kind of confused. I'm slightly confused by that. Like, I really am. And the other thing is, like, I'm going to be meeting with people IRL in real life. You know that there was this group a few years ago that they were at one of these very big national conferences and went around and took pictures with people at booths, went to different booths to do this, and told them, listen, I'll let you take a picture with us, but you have to give us a percentage of whatever's sold during the rest of the conference because we allowed you to take our pictures with us. Think about that for a moment. The audacity of that. We made you popular in a safety conference because we took our pictures with you? Needless to say, that group no longer is around. But I think it's kind of funny on fanboying or fangirling out during this. I think that we kind of forget what exactly we got involved with this stuff for in the first place. It was to make sure that people got home safer. It was never about becoming popular or a popularity contest in regards to this. And that is where some of the confusion comes about. Like, I am this guru. I am this ninja. I am the expert of this. I am the expert of that. Really? This is what we're going to go with? Expert? I might know quite a bit about X, but I'm no expert. I am no ninja. I am no guru of guru. That's not me. And it's kind of weird when people go around deeming themselves that. If you want to pass this test to get these letters, you must use my service only. What? If you want to take a photo with me, I will be Really? And I even heard that it got so crazy this year that some people were charging to get their photo taken with them. The other thing I get so confused about is that why do you have to tell me the countdown on why I should go to a safety event because you're going to be there? The other portion that I don't understand is why does the speaker have to take a picture from the crowd? Like, why do they want to flip the camera around? I'm going to tell you 2 things that you should notice. If you ever go to if you ever see pictures from a conference and the speaker has their picture taken very, very, very up close and not from a far distance, there's a reason for that. Most of the time, the room is not that full. That's the reason. But it gets very interesting to me. When it is all said and done, isn't the reason that we do what we do to make things better? Not because we wanted to become popular in this stuff?
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at RadioBig.fm.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at RadioBig.fm.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder Smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Radio Big.
Come into view. Satellite, take my heart up to the moon. She's a supercalifragilistic freak. She's in her own league, in her own galaxy. Electricity running, my butterflies buzzing. If I ain't dreaming, it must be heaven.
Okay, 45 minutes past the top of the hour. We are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show, doing our thing. Yep. Okay, this one right here, as you are hanging out with me, this one is CPR by Gianni Taylor. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora.
Answer the thing, it's an emergency. She's so hot, it's a pain.
So there you go. We'd like to thank Gianni Taylor for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that. You know, trying to keep it all safety themed. Little CPR action. Just saying, man. Okay, there you go. So let's get back into the move and the groove of the things that we were talking about. But before I move forward, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and the people at To Write Love on Our Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com, and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there'll be information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, just to name a few things. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. Anyways, to continue talking about some other things going on inside of the world, because that's what we do around here. So take a listen to this. AI is on the rise. Artificial intelligence is rapidly transforming our workplaces, and this new study suggests that it's already affecting 700 different professions. Researchers analyzed over 1 million conversations with a popular AI assistant and found that at the end of 2024, about 25% of daily tasks across all jobs were either automated or augmented by AI. There is a difference, though. Automation replaces the task entirely, while augmentations support workers without replacing them. Tech roles are seeing the most automation, while educators and librarians are more likely to be assisted than replaced. For most jobs, AI still plays a supporting role, but the balance could shift as technology evolves. Experts say that the best way to prepare is to stay informed. Experiment with AI tools and focus on skills that still require a human touch, like judgment, creativity, and ethics. I don't think that we're having anything to worry about anytime soon. It can't even figure out how to do Excel either, so I think we're going to be good. And I'm fine with AI at the workplace. At least it doesn't have to. It doesn't steal the cake from the lunchroom fridge. So there you go. But all joking aside, as we talk about this, there is AI technology for broadcasting. And that's not a joke as I say that. And it is so good that some people can't even tell the difference of what's AI and what isn't, which makes it even more interesting. Anyways, let me talk about this before I forget, because, hey, it's right around the corner and, it's important to talk about. But the Conklin Conference is coming up next month, September the 9th through the 11th. Of 2025 in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It's Conklin Conference 4. Of course, we'll be hanging out talking about the world of human and organizational performance, and would love to see you there. Todd Conklin will be heading out the whole thing, of course. Martha Acosta, Bob Edwards, Jen T. Long, Andrea Baker, and Mark Yeston. And, of course, I'll be there in a hosting capacity if you would like to come and hang out and do some things in Santa Fe, New Mexico. There's a QR code on the screen if you want to give it a little scanner action and go ahead and go into the website. If not, I can give you the website. If you go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says live events, we would love to see you there. So there you go. A lot of stuff always going on as we are hanging out and doing our thing. So there you go. No doubt about that, as the world continues to turn. Anyways, let's go ahead and bring in some John Smalls right now and let him tell us about what the hell's going on with the Motivation Minute, because it's always a good time as he is doing that stuff. Here's some John Smalls.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Tom. Heraclitus said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he's not the same man." I love that. In life, I've come to the same intersection a few times. Sometimes I turn right, sometimes I turn left. I'm not talking about an actual intersection, but a moment where I have to make a decision. You'd think I'd always make the same decision. I would say I probably do most of the time. But sometimes, when the moment is right, I'll think about the last time I was in that moment, and I'll make a different decision. It's not easy, and sometimes people even ask you why you're flip-flopping. But I call it learning.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. On at least 2 occasions, David could have ended King Saul's life and seized the throne, but he refused to do so. As far as he was concerned, his life and his destiny were in the Lord's hands. Far be it from him to try and make something happen. If God didn't do it, he wanted no part of it. What about you? Are you trusting the Lord to direct your steps? Or are you taking matters into your own hands? Psalms 138 says, "The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me." Lord Jesus, root out all personal ambition from our hearts. Help us to trust you and you only with our future. Fulfill your purposes in our lives. In your holy name I pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
The Rated R Safety Show.
Protests in eastern Yemen escalated for the third day as residents demanded solutions to prolonged power outages during extreme heat.
The demonstrations have disrupted local commerce and transportation in the region. At least 22 people died in related violence in Angola this week, with over 1,200 arrests reported. Authorities are struggling to restore order as public frustration grows. International aid groups are calling for urgent humanitarian support to address the crisis. Benjamin Wright reporting.
A Virginia city councilman survived an attempted murder after being set on fire in an apparent personal attack.
A 29-year-old suspect was arrested and charged following the incident. The victim sustained serious injuries but is receiving medical treatment. Police are investigating the motive behind the attack. The community has expressed shock and is rallying for increased public safety measures. Jessica Oakley reporting.
The U.S. Treasury Department imposed sanctions on Brazil Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes, escalating diplomatic tensions.
The move follows disputes over judicial actions linked to former President Bolsonaro. The sanctions aim to address perceived overreach in Brazil's legal system. The Trump administration also announced tariffs on Brazilian goods. Both nations are navigating the fallout as trade relations face uncertainty. Kyle Norris reporting.
A Canadian man pleaded not guilty to the murder of his 9-year-old daughter during a vacation in upstate New York.
The incident has drawn significant attention due to its tragic nature. Authorities are conducting a thorough investigation into the circumstances of the girl's death. The case has raised cross-border legal questions. A trial date is expected to be set soon. Liam White reporting.
Former NBA star Gilbert Arenas faces federal charges for allegedly operating an illegal gambling ring from his California home.
5 others were indicted in connection with the operation. The investigation uncovered evidence of significant financial transactions linked to the gambling activities. Arenas, once a prominent athlete, is now under intense scrutiny. Legal proceedings are expected to begin shortly. Kevin Sanders reporting.
A New York City police officer killed in a Midtown Manhattan shooting was honored at a Bronx funeral and posthumously promoted to detective first grade.
The officer, Didarul Islam, was remembered for his dedication to public safety. The suspect, linked to the Park Avenue shooting, remains under investigation. A building cleaner narrowly escaped the same incident unharmed. The city is mourning while pushing for stronger gun control measures. Lawrence Keller reporting.
A Canadian man was arrested in New York City after allegedly attempting to smuggle 100 pounds of cocaine across the border.
The drugs were discovered hidden in a vehicle during a routine inspection at a northern border crossing. Authorities reported the cocaine had an estimated street value of several $1 million. The suspect faces federal drug trafficking charges. The investigation is ongoing to determine connections to broader smuggling networks. Chris Anderson reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
What do guys like besides pizza and morning sex?
Jay Allen in the morning.
It's so bizarre and unnatural.
It's all good on Radio Big.
Okay, there you go. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2015, Robert Downey Jr. is named the world's highest paid actor by Forbes magazine. His net worth is listed at $80 million. A few Marvel flicks later, which paid him handsomely from the back end and grossed billions, RDJ is now worth about an estimated $300 million. That happened back on this date in 2015. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Cole and Dylan Sprouse both turned 33. Jessica Moby turns 36. JT Gitman turns 37. Greta Gerwig turns 42. Let's see. Abigail Spencer turns 44. Megan Sussex turns 44. Marcus Houston turned 44. Apparently it's a 44 type of day. Jeff Gordon turned 54. Daniel Day Kim, 57. Lee Mack, 57. James Tupper, 60. Roger Clemens turned 63. And Barack Obama turned 64. And Billy Bob Thornton turned 70 today. So there you go. There's some birthdays. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, it's National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day and Coast Guard Birthday. That's going on today if you're taking a looker at some of the stuff that is going on. So there you go. Always a fun time as we are doing our thing. No doubt about that one. What else do I got for you? Let's talk about some other stuff. If you need a random joke for today, let me give you one of those because that always seems like a good idea. My wife says that I can be an idiot sometimes. I think it's pretty cool of her to give me permission like that. Just saying. Also, if you need a phone starter for today, try this. If aliens visited Earth, who is the one person you would choose to best represent humanity? Yeah, something to think about there. And then if you need a question for the water cooler, try this. The average person treats themselves 6 times a month, and 26% say they reward themselves with this. What is it? It's wine. Or maybe they're whining. I don't know. One or the other. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so, as I am doing the stuff talking about the world of music and entertainment on that side. If you don't want to go over there, you can hang out here on Safety FM and hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. So thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. Keep that in mind. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.